Now, here's the key, though. The president will say, again, there's no negotiations over the debt ceiling. That's not something we're going to do. Here are a couple things that are coming up at the end of March. There's something known as sequestration, and that is there are automatic cuts to both the Defense Department and also domestic programs if Congress and the Obama administration cannot agree on an overall spending cut deal. In other words, if there's no deal to try to figure out how to balance the books, there's this automatic cuts that take effect, pretty dramatic cuts in both the Defense Department and domestic programs. And the reason this was created a year and a half ago is the theory was that if there's so much pressure on both sides, if the programs that both Republicans and Democrats hold dear is essentially on the chopping block, that'll force them to make some of the difficult decisions and come up with a deal. So that's the first thing, sequestration. Then there's the overall budget. Congress has got to figure out how to pass an overall budget by the end of March to continue government operations. And included among those government operations, of course, is funding for members of Congress, is paying veterans benefits, Social Security checks, paying the military. So there are a couple of things that are all hanging out there that now come up at the end of March. And the theory that Republicans have is that by putting the debt ceiling off until April, the Republicans can focus on the budget, make sure that Congress passes a budget, that they come up with certain cutting programs the way Republicans want, and that the Democrats will agree. And then, therefore, the debt ceiling becomes something that can, I suppose, be hanging out there as possible leverage. Daniel, what do you make of the Republicans saying, you know what, we're going to punt on the debt ceiling, we're going to extend it for 3 months?
Well, I think it's a testament to the fact that the president's bully pulpit, the oratory, actually does work in some cases. He was able to make a coherent, clear policy case. These are spending bills that have already been racked up, and that basically put a lot of political pressure on Republicans to back down. The question I have is, great, why didn't we do that in 2011? And so it seems like a positive aspect of this is that the president is learning some lessons in terms of political strategy. Personally, I think that it was a red herring all along, because I sort of anticipated that this would be something that Republicans would find it hard to hold strong on. And I think in terms of policy implications, those of us that are interested or involved in the fight over whether it's our social insurance programs, our defense spending, or our tax and revenue systems, there is still going to be a major showdown. It's just not going to be over the full faith and credit of the United States government. Instead, it's going to be over how we're going to offset the sequester, which is still set to hit in, I believe, about 2 months. And what the Republicans will do if Obama wants to, if for some reason, if Democrats were to try and say, let's just undo the sequester without offsetting it, then Republicans can say, okay, we won't fund the government. We will enact a government shutdown by not providing another continuing resolution. And so the leverage that they have through the sort of the double threat of the sequester and the continuing resolution government shutdown is still tremendous. And that's still something that I know that I, as a Social Security advocate, am extremely concerned about, because it will put President Obama in a difficult situation, particularly given that there has already been $600 billion in new revenue in the last half of the deal. The focus of this deal is clearly going to be spending. And again, having already cut $1 trillion in discretionary spending as part of the debt ceiling deal last year, we're going to be focusing on hopefully defense, but more likely Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
David Marin's our executive producer. Also, we're joined in studio by Rich Webster. Rich, great to have you on board. Rich is a graduate of George Washington University.
Georgetown.
Sorry.
We don't take kindly to that in this town.
Georgetown University, Georgetown Hoyas. Rich, welcome to Take Action News. So glad to have you. As you know, Daniel Marins and I both like to talk, and we appreciate you and all of our listeners putting up with us, and how you get the misfortune of having to look at us as well as we do it. So welcome to Take Action News.
It's my pleasure, David.
Great to have you. Georgetown Hoyas. We're going to continue after this break, and we're going to talk about the gun control policies President Obama rolled out with Joe Biden this week, and the reaction that we've had from some on the right, including conservative media. Cliff Schecter's in studio. He's going to join us a little bit later. You're listening and you're watching the Take Action News.